So let's look here at a very basic fallacy that always triggers me is the Bill Russell versus Wilt Chamberlain. That Wilt is better in every way. He's a way better scorer, averaged double points per game for his career. Bill averaged 15, Wilt averaged 30. Right, he shoots a better percentage, 50% from the field. He was able to lead the league in assists. Right, he's even a better rebounder, even better defender than Bill, whether people realize it or not. Because a lot of accounts from fans who would watch both of them would attest to the fact that Bill would get around like 4 to 5 blocks a game. Wilt would sometimes get 7 to 10 plus. So unfortunately, blocks weren't recorded, but it shows you like Wilt is just better in every way. But Russell gets credit for his team success, which has more to do again with his team that we kind of just take for granted. So anybody who says Bill is better than Wilt doesn't know what they're talking about, and it's stupid because you're leaning on something that doesn't have to do with actually him, right? Like Wilt's actual skills are better. He's better at scoring. He's better at passing. He's better at rebounding. He's better at everything, right? Even defense, arguably, right? I'll give Bill credit there too, but it's like Bill Russell averaged 15 points a game and shot below 50% even as a big, right? And like he had a ridiculous number of Hall of Famers. Tommy Heinsohn, a lot of these players don't get credit. Sam Jones, obviously Bob Cousy, John Havlicek. And so those players aren't given enough credit. He's given too much credit just because of some singular desire to always specify something and make it about one person, and even in a team sport. Right? He won 11, but Sam Jones won 10. And a lot of those other players played a big role. So you're just diminishing them and ignoring that, and using again team success to define the individual. But in no way is that argument even close. Like nobody would ever take or say that Bill Russell is as good or better than Wilt. Nobody would ever say that logically. But somehow this stupid like winning thing is again, that has nothing to do with it, because there's plenty of players who don't win, like Elgin Baylor didn't win. But does that mean that he's worse than players who did win, who aren't nearly as good? Again, that's just an insane fallacy. You're 15 points a game versus 30. 40 something percent shooting versus 50%, right? Just as good a defender, blocking shots, just as good as a rebounder, better passer, like better in every way. But somehow you want to point to some intangible thing, like he's a good leader, this or that, which is fine, but it doesn't matter because what you were leading were better teammates too, right? You had a team that won 11 championships in 13 years, right? If you want to just say that, the difference of that is just Bill Russell, then you're ignoring all his other teammates, his coach, everything else. So again, it's just one of those things you can see how stupid people are. Like, how could anybody possibly say that? But some people actually do, like on some of these talk shows or whatever. There's no possible way you can ever say that, but you use the fallacy of, his team was so good, so that makes him better, which is just the most nonsensical thing ever. In fact, despite his team being better, Wilt would often give him a run for his money and push him far in some of those series, and obviously he actually beat him in one of them, right? The Hawks with Bob Pettit and Wilt were the only two people to beat him there, the only two teams to beat them in that 13-year span. So again, you're looking at the wrong thing. I don't care about just that, because you're not acknowledging a team sport and all the other players that deserve credit. Wilt is way better, and that's one of those things that almost makes you lose faith in humanity, that like people could believe almost anything then. That's how stupid you are, that you'll fall for that. That it's even a conversation. Like, it's not even close.